Now here we have the G1W-C variant of the G1W, quite popular car cam. As you can see, it comes with two mounts. The one here which goes round the arm of the rear view mirror, which when I used it on my car transmitted the rattling from the car, caused a vibration. Then we've got the suction mount, which is no good on mine because it has a shaded area at the top which is like all dimpled, and so therefore you cannot actually use the suction mount unless you bring it well down below, and of course then it puts it in the middle of the windscreen. And because of the actual mounting part here, you can see that it has a slot. Now that particular slot is completely different to most camera attachment pieces, and so I had to think about this, and I thought we must be able to do something better than this. So I'll now go on, I'll just shut the camera off and I'll show you what I decided to do. So here we have the constituents of what we need for doing this modification. Now first of all, here is a sheet of galvanised tin, 32nd of an inch thick, so nice and easy to use. The only difficulty that you might have maybe is cutting it straight. I used a jigsaw with a very fine metal blade in it. And then we have this, which is a 1/4 inch set screw, 1/4 inch Whitworth, 20 threads per inch, and two nuts to go with it. One of the nuts needs to be modified here. We'll show you what we need to do. Now the nut has to fit inside here, so you're going to need to do a bit of fitting. What I did, I held an ordinary nut and I used a pair of mole grips, held it whilst I ground off enough to go inside the slot. You could use a file if you don't have a grindstone, providing you've got access to a vise, that is, and a good file. So that's how we got to that. Next, using the tin, I cut a piece off the tin, 50mm wide and 80mm long here, and then on one side I cut 25mm wide here across by 40mm all the way down to there. Then here is a 1/4 inch clearance hole. Then this was bent on the line there, as you can see, to fit the windscreen angle, so that if you can imagine, is the windscreen coming down, and this will be where the camera is mounted. Now this here is mounted on the windscreen by the use of this device, which is made 5mm longer one way and 5mm longer the other way, folded round so that it forms a ledge. You can possibly see that on the screen, can you? That will form a ledge, and that will sit in there snug. Now, an important thing to remember is that this bolt here, well, it's a set screw, not a bolt, because it's threaded right up to the end. It's a set screw. It must be no more than 10mm long. The reason is that when these nuts are put on, that it doesn't actually go into this hole and into the body of the camera, because we don't want to break anything inside. So I'll just show you now how this is set up. So we put the bolt or the set screw, and this is now threaded onto here. And that's screwed right down. I need a spanner because it's a little bit tight. Our next step is to glue this other 1/4 inch nut inside here. Now you can either use a hot melt glue gun, or I'm going to use a little bit of super glue to go into there. This way it's not going to damage the camera at all. The great thing about this is now that we're going to be able to use that on a tripod or any other camera holding equipment that you might have. So this has got a great advantage. Next, we have sticky pads. Now these are a nice thick sticky pad. I'm going to use probably 2 of these sticky pads to put this onto the windscreen after first cleaning it properly and warming it up slightly so that we get a good adhesion. And we'll put that so that we get the ledge at the bottom and to the right hand side, so that it'll just be a simple matter of sliding this in. The next step is to use some of this sticky back magnetic rubber strip, which I'm going to put onto here. Probably put 3 strips on, and then this will make this adhere to that so that it holds it in position. Right, I've done everything I needed to do now. I've stuck the rubber, put 4 strips of rubber along there. Thoroughly cleaned it with methylated spirit first so we get proper adhesion. The same with the sticky pads. Now this is the bit that's going to be stuck on the windscreen of the car, and this is how it will fit, and that is a really good strong magnetic bond now, and it does come off easy, so you can see how easy this will be to detach once you want to take the camera out of the car. So now I'm going to go and clean the windscreen of the car, and then maybe warm it up a little bit so that we can get some proper adhesion and mark out the places, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. Before I go out to the car, I'll just show you now how this is. You can just see the nut is well super glued inside the camera, and you can see the lock nut and the set screw, and that angle of the camera is just right for my car. It may not be right for yours, but because it's made out of this sort of tin, a gentle pull one way or the other, and you can alter the angle very easily. You can also angle the way that you get the camera, because once it's in position like this, you could then swivel this on this nut and then tighten the nut up again when you've finished. And so the thing is, when you want to take it off, all you do is just unhook the whole lot and take that with you. So now I'm going to go out to the car and right, so here we are in the car, As you can see, I've already put the sticky pad on, cleaned it nicely and warmed it up slightly because it's absolutely freezing cold here at the moment. And I've just plugged the camera in, and this is how easy it is. There it is, finished. I'm going to have to reroute the cable so that not so much shows, but as you can see, it's fitted to the passenger side. We're a right-hand drive here in England, and I've just put the mirror to one side so that you can see where it's fit. But when it's brought to the normal position, you see how it could quite easily be construed as being just a secondary mirror, as a driving instructor would have. And it's quite high up. I could actually fit it slightly higher up, but I think it's lowered down enough, because if you look closely, it might not just show it on the video here, but there is a shaded area, a dotted area, that is right behind the driving mirror. So it has to be there so it can see through the windscreen. So it's just a matter now of setting up properly and tightening things, tightening the nuts up so that it stays in its position. But it is a very rigid construction, is that, and that's not going to fall out. It's going to be nice and easy to take off, and I could just a matter of unplugging and taking the camera with me, or putting it in the glove compartment. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I hope it's been constructive for you as well, because it really is annoying having to use those other mounts. And my original mount used to come well down here underneath the driving mirror, so it's come down, it's come up about at least 4 inches, and I'm quite pleased with the result. This is my first time I've ever done anything for YouTube, so if you like it, click on like or subscribe or whatever it is you're supposed to do. And thanks for watching. Bye.